They called her Kunoichi, the woman who moved through shadows, silent, intelligent, deadly in the age of the samurai. When women were expected to serve tea and stay behind walls, she mastered the art of deception, disguise, and death. She was not supposed to exist, and that's what made her the perfect ninja. The story of the female ninja begins in the warring states of Japan, a time of chaos, betrayal, and survival. While men fought on the battlefield, the Kunoichi fought in silence. She didn't need an army, she only needed opportunity. Unlike the armored samurai, the Kunoichi's greatest weapon was her invisibility. She blended into everyday life, a maid in a castle, a traveler, a performer, a widow seeking shelter. But beneath her calm smile, every gesture had purpose. Every word a trap. The Kunoichi could go where men could not. She could serve tea to a warlord while quietly listening to his military plans. She could walk through the enemy's gates without suspicion, and when the moment came, one poison pin, one quick strike, the mission was complete. One of the most famous Kunoichi in history was Mochizuki Chiyome. A noblewoman from the Takeda clan, she secretly trained an entire network of women, orphans, courtesans, even farmers, turning them into spies. Under the guise of running a school for girls, Chiyome built one of the most efficient intelligence networks of her time. Her Kunoichi spread across Japan, carrying coded messages, gathering secrets, and influencing battles without ever drawing a sword. Their power wasn't physical, it was psychological. They used beauty as armor, emotion as camouflage, and intellect as their blade. A Kunoichi's mission was never about brute force. It was about control of information, of perception, of destiny. Training for Kunoichi was brutal. They learned martial arts, herbal medicine, and poison crafting. They practiced stealth, climbing, silent movement, and acting. They learned how to read people, their posture, tone, and weakness. And most importantly, how to hide emotion. Because hesitation meant death, their weapons were disguised in plain sight. A hairpin could become a dagger. A folding fan could conceal blades, perfume could hide poison. Everyday objects turned into instruments of strategy. While male ninjas focused on physical infiltration, the Kunoichi mastered social infiltration. Where men sneaked in through rooftops, the Kunoichi walked in through the front door. No one suspected her, that was her greatest advantage. But make no mistake, she was still a warrior. Many Kunoichi were trained in ninjutsu and taijutsu, capable of defending themselves when cornered. They fought up close, fast, and precise, aiming for weak points, ending battles before they began. She wasn't built for long fights, she was built to win before her opponent even realized there was a fight. As Japan entered peace under the Tokugawa shogunate, the role of ninjas faded, the shadows grew quiet. The Kunoichi disappeared back into ordinary life, as mothers, wives, merchants, and healers. But their legend never died. Their story survived through whispers, plays, and scrolls. And centuries later, their image still inspires. In anime, movies, and games, the Kunoichi is reborn, fierce, intelligent, and free. But behind the fantasy lies a truth history often forgets. These women were real. They existed and they changed the course of war from behind the scenes. They proved that strength isn't about muscle or weapons. It's about intelligence, timing, and adaptability. They were underestimated, and that's exactly how they won. The Kunoichi's lesson still matters today. Your power doesn't depend on who sees it. It depends on what you do with it. Be silent when needed, be clever when challenged. And when the world underestimates you, smile because they never see you coming. The female ninja, the Kunoichi, was more than a myth. She was the mind behind the mission, the whisper behind the war, the shadow no one could catch. And even centuries later, her spirit still moves quietly through history, reminding us that true power doesn't always shout, sometimes it simply disappears. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Would you rather fight in the shadows or control the battlefield from behind the scenes? Because the Kunoichi already made her choice. And that's why her legend still lives today.